Many a times it's not considered because we want services to work, but we are not bothered about the facility at the same time complying with the standards and guidelines. For example, the basement ventilation is not there. Even recently there was a fire in a Rajasthan hospital. The fire was in the basement. What happens if there is a severe fire in the basement? The fire will go upstairs, ground first, second. Can we think about evacuation? I don't think it's possible. But the basement is left ignored. It's a place where you dump everything. The firefighting system does not work. So the National Building Code, NBC, that's a guideline that actually works for the building design, the safe design of the building. And it has got selective clauses for how to construct a building in terms of healthcare. Similarly, what type of departments we need to have. For example, if you have a LINAC or, for example, oncology department, you need to go to those in agencies or organizations which gives you the guidelines and standards for constructing them. Follow standards for design of utility services. See, look at this. We have ASHRAE here. ASHRAE is the Air Conditioning Society for Refrigeration, Heating, and Air Conditioning Ventilation Engineers. We have the Indian chapter for ISHRAE. We have IPC, the Indian Plumbing Code. We have the IEEE for the Electricity Code. When you design the building, not only the architecture, you should see that the standards are followed. When you take the ASHRAE standards, it tells clearly what is the ventilation required in the histopathology in the laboratory, what is the air changes needed, what is the temperature. It's very, very clear. It should not be just some exhaust fan working because there's a formalin there. So the way that has to be looked at is how good we have the designs. And set up a procedure, procurement protocol. Do we have a procurement protocol? Suddenly there is a biosafety cabinet sitting next to the lab and say we don't have power supply there. We need to connect the exhaust fan. Many a times it is how it is happening. So when you come to the building design, we need to set up the right consultants for the job. And once the consultancy is done, you arrive at the right estimate so that you know where you're going to go in terms of the cost that is going to happen or that is going to be spent for the construction facility. And when you have the right design and the right specification, you select your right contractors. We always look at the price factor before you select the contractor. But we need to check whether they are capable of doing the right thing. Because one mistake they make and then you're going to be in trouble forever. Set up operational and maintenance contracts for longer periods. Once the system is commissioned, then you should have operational contracts, maintenance contracts, so that you know the systems are under control. There is something called as preventive maintenance, something called as breakdown maintenance. We don't want a breakdown, so we need to have preventive maintenance. So if you have preventive maintenance done at regular intervals as per the standards or good practices, you will not have a breakdown. Can you imagine if you have a breakdown of a cath lab for 2 days? Or an MRI for 2 days? We cannot. Why it has broken down? Because we are not having a proper maintenance contract. It could be the air conditioning system of the MRI that has failed. Now the air conditioning system is supposed to be maintained once every 2 months. If it's not maintained, if it's failed, then we don't have the motor on it. So we need to be very clear with the design part of it. And the building design, we need to be very clear on how good and how wellness care we give to our patients and to the staff alike, with good lighting, good corridors. For the corridors also help us for the evacuation in the event of a disaster. We also look at fungus growth many places. It's because of the not correct or improper insulation of the air conditioning system. If it was done correctly at the first time, you would not have that. You spend a lot of money on painting and redoing the gypsum work. And end user design. We need to have the design specific for the end user. When I say it's an MRI, it should be specific for that. The electric supply, the air conditioning supply, the power supply backup, etc. Avoid compromises on serviceability provisions. If you provide a system, do I have the enough access for maintaining them? We don't have. Yeah. There are lots of common errors that do happen during the construction process, which we try to keep a close eye when the contractor works, because he's given a definite time at a definite cost to complete the project. Thereby, there is a quality degradation. People look at, they want to somehow complete the project. So there is no quality consideration at all. So you need to have quality check during the construction process, wherein you see that the concept that we have in place is finally given to you when you start utilizing the building. Energy conservation is very important because, as I say, I'll give an example. For in the hospital where I'm consulting, which is Rajagiri Hospital, it's 600 odd bed with quaternary care. The electricity bill is more than 1 crore a month. The water supply needed is like 6 lakh liters every day. So we need to look at proper systems that will bring in energy conservation. So we need to have good selection of energy saving equipments and also controlling and monitoring system. The controlling and monitoring is possible if you have monitoring meters, electricity meters and water meters in the respective areas. And also systems that are also going to give you saving of energy by its sheer performance. Heat pumps for giving you hot water, high energy efficient chillers, control valves which are modulating. Modulating control valves give you the right temperatures rather than freezing or overheating in the area. So you will get the right temperature for a less flow. Similarly, giving fresh air which is treated. Chillers, many of the hospitals will have air conditioning system. You select them at the high performance selection for the chillers with the right refrigerant, which are energy and environmental friendly. I'm rushing up because I'm told to close the session. Give me 5 minutes. These are the high efficiency system. You need to have high efficiency generators because generators consume a lot of diesel when there is a power shortage. Similarly, we need to bring in a lot of fresh air into the hospital, like 25 changes of air in the theaters, isolation rooms which have negative pressure. So we need to bring in fresh air to cool the space. So you know the ambient temperatures nowadays has gone close to 40 degrees. So we need to bring the air treated and then bring into the area so that you get the right temperature and humidity. Similarly, we need to also control our external environment. We need to have the right stack length for the generators. We have stacks for your incinerators, we have stack for the generators, boilers. They should be rightly installed and designed so that you don't spoil the environment, which is our own external environment. Another important part is proper asset management. You need to have proper asset management and see that you have control on when the machine was bought, when is the warranty going to expire, what is the control on your contracts, in terms of maintenance contracts. Is the maintenance contract including spare parts? Is it only a labor contract? All that tracking is possible with this. So obviously you need to see that you have a system which is approachable and auditable. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, I'm told to close it. I have been told to only talk for 15 minutes. 15 minutes for infrastructure is never a possibility at all. Thank you all for the patient listening. Any doubts? They have an email ID that you can communicate with, and we'll be happy to only answer to your questions. Thank you.